I hated bobsleigh the whole first year that I did it. I was cacking myself every time I went down.
Former Team GB athlete.
Yes.
A sprinter.
Yes.
A bobsledder. He even took his hand at boxing a little bit as well. We have the one, the only.
Jordan Smallin.
All my knowledge is from Cool Runnings.
Uni as well, my first year, I had my housemates give me a little lucky rubber egg.
What's the top speed? How fast are you going in those things?
Maybe like 115 kilometers an hour. The experience is crazy because obviously you're not strapped into anything. The difference again between the film and in real life is once we all jump in, no one's shifting like this. You got 4 big blokes in it, just shift up like this. The whole of my first season, didn't have one crash. I was giving it the big I am. I was like, yo, I am uncrashable. There's a track or a bend called 50-50, and it's 50-50 if you're gonna make it or if you're gonna flop off, man. As a brakeman, I used to like it because all I have to concentrate on is staying on top of my game, stay powerful, stay fast. Right. When you're driving, it's a whole different kettle of fish.
There's always been chat about Team GB athletes not making enough money.
So a lot of the time, people be working their second jobs or whatever, doing their thing. Juniors and like younger athletes now are having to pay to go to competitions. They're robbing our athletes, man, and we're still doing well despite that. I was overtraining for years. I tell you what, I couldn't even sit in the cinema. Sitting like this with my knees bent, screaming. I remember the first time someone asked me to sign like a photo or a little thing that I felt. Are you sure about that? I was like, what, me? I was like, yeah, of course, man.
What is it about athletics in Jamaica?
It's just this rich tradition of athletics, and we push it so hard from like day dot.
Bro, first dates, man. We had
Talk about it.
we had to just touch on first dates quickly. What was it like for you going on first dates? And we're back.
Yes.
Afo, how you feeling, brother?
Hey, I'm good. It's good to be doing another pod, bro. How you feeling, my bro?
I'm feeling good. Man, we had a hell of an experience last night.
Hey, WWE first time. How did you find it?
I loved it, man. We went to the O2 Arena. WWE is doing their European tour. It was a hell of a good experience. I think you met Bianca Belair for the first time.
Unbelievably talented. Unbelievable talented. Again, it was very good to see her being the referee. And again, what they put out, WWE, yesterday was remarkable.
I would say a hell of a show in terms of the production, the pyrotechnics. It was a good event.
Shout out to the Paul brothers. Was it Logan Paul?
Logan Paul, yeah.
Logan Paul. Do you know what? That's his special move. What do you call it? His finisher. His finisher. Unbelievable. Yeah, he's good. Hey.
Yeah, I know. But athlete. Bro, today we have a very, very special guest in the room.
Tell him.
A former Team GB athlete.
Yes.
A sprinter.
Yes.
A bobsledder. He even took his hand at boxing a little bit as well. We have the one, the only
Jordan Smallin.
Jeez, hey, my bro. Good to have you on.
Good to meet you, man. Good to see you again, bro.
Good to see you, bro.
It's been a minute.
It has. So, for those of you guys who don't know, Jordan went to Loughborough. One of the home. Well, Loughborough is basically the home of the best GB athletes in the country, I would say. We always had. I love that statistic that they always used to bring up when it came to Olympic time, where they were like, if Loughborough was a country, we would be like in the top 10.
That is a flex. That is a big flex. Yeah. Okay.
Yo, but Jordan, how are you, man?
I'm good, man. Life's been good.
That's been good. Since we were at Loughborough, bro, I just remember vividly, like, Jordan was the athlete that did several different sports, man. Several different sports back in the day. Tell us, like, how you got into athletics.
Yes, I've been Jamaican anyway, of heritage, so you kind of that gets brought in with you, almost like a birthright. Okay. But I started off maybe like 9-10 years old training, and just pretty much worked my way up. So I was living in Luton at the time. Okay. So competed for Luton AC. Did English schools 1 year, raced for Bedfordshire, and continued like that. Mostly ended up focusing on the sprints. So it was the 100 and 200, but settled on 400 meter hurdles and the 110s.
Right.
Did hurdles?
Yeah, I did. That was my thing, man. Loved it.
So because one thing for me, I always found I did a bit of sprinting as well, but the technique for hurdles, how long did it take you to get that right?
Oh, it took me years, but I was lucky. So I had Des, who was like a former GB athlete as well, like a veteran teaching us. It was good, man. You pick it up. The sprint hurdles are a lot more unforgiving than the 400. You can kind of get away with it. So.
Wait, so sorry, do you say you do 400-meter hurdles?
Yeah, that was my main focus.
Oh, bro, that's cardio.
Yeah, it is. I always say the race itself is a lot of fun, but the training for it is just ridiculous, man. But good stuff.
So tell me about like sprint training. Like, what's the technique? Because to the layman's, I see you guys just go on the track and it's just do a couple 100-meter runs and then you're done for the day, no?
Pretty much, right? It looks like that. So it all depends on your session, but it always starts off in winter. So try and use winter time to build up speed, endurance, and strength as well. So you might have, say, split 4 600s, which is essentially a 600 split into maybe 2 or 3 different reps. Minimal recoveries. Those are like the grueling sessions that you're feeling it. And as you progress into the summertime, we start shortening up our distances. And yeah, shorter reps, more intense, add more weights to it as well. And then, yeah, as well as that, your gym, the way that you train also changes depending if you're in and out of competition. So say as you're getting in towards competition season, we're starting to do like heavier weights, lower reps, mostly power stuff. So I live off of power cleans and whatever kind of Olympic lift you can get me to do.
Right.
So yeah, that's the main focus for us. Yeah.
Okay, bro. So, but like, obviously you're one of the bigger sprinters, right? Because I've always seen that, like, in sprinting they're always like, oh, you don't want to get too big or da da da. I feel like Harry AA was like a good example of that, where people were always telling him that he actually needs to like slim down. Did you ever get that when you were sprinting?
Oh, I had it all the time. So I was lucky to an extent where if I just touch weights, I seem to put weight on, which is, it seems good, but obviously you got your strength to weight ratio and your power in that as well. Yeah. When it came to the sprints, it wasn't too much of an issue on the 60s, but as soon as you go to like 100s and 2s, I'm getting licked down by that lactic sniper, man. Just getting through the treacle towards the last like 30 meters. So yeah, the weight was definitely an issue doing that in my sprints, but as I was progressing to different sports, it kind of
helps you out.
What kind of times were you running across all those 3?
Do you know what? Nothing crazy. So I feel like my PB 400 was only, if I'm right, maybe like 11.1. So it was always for me the 60s that I was the fastest, actually the short bit of the sprint. And then towards the end of it, kind of slow down a bit. Couldn't tell you what I was doing for like my 400-meter hurdles, but it was nothing too crazy. So in terms of the level of competition I reached for athletics, most of the time it was just, say, regional Bedfordshire schools, and then you got English schools as well, which is, so you don't know, it's like the Olympics for kids, essentially, doing your athletics. You go to Gateshead or Birmingham, one of the big athletics venues around the country. And yeah, it's like a mini Olympics. So that was the highest level I got to.
So, like I said, obviously I did athletics. So I always remember the first time where I came second or third. And I guess like throughout my life, I'd always kind of won. And then it's like, oh crap, someone's actually as fast as me or faster than me. Yeah. So what age did you experience that where you're like, okay, I'm not the fastest person in England?
Or... I tell you what, and I always say it's not a regret, but I always remember, so I was training from young, doing my sprints, but I feel you get to the age where maybe like primary school or high school, and you get your school teams will start playing, and then outside of that, your friends start playing for like a local league or team. Yeah. I made the transition into football maybe when I was about 13 years old. Okay. So still doing my athletics, but cut it down to like 1 day a week. Obviously, the change in training is when you're playing football, obviously you're flat-footed for a lot of the time as well. So it's like a different shift in technique. So I slowed down a lot doing that. On the pitch, I didn't notice it because I was still obviously breezing guys up. Get back to the track to start trading full time, and I'm like, yo, like these people are smoking me. I need to pick it back up again, man. So yeah, I'd say probably about maybe 15 sort of age, 14, 15 going on. I found that. So
wow, bro. Okay, so tell us, like, when did you? Obviously, you went to Loughborough at the same time I did. Were you straight into sprinting as well, or when did the transition to bobsledding happen?
So, in fact, the only reason I ended up going to Loughborough was because of bobsleigh. So, back in the day, I wanted to do science and sport or whatever, and I actually wanted to go to the States, try and get a scholarship out there.
Don't we all, bro?
Science. Oh, the dream. Bro.
This guy's trying to go to LA tomorrow, bro. You're going to LA tomorrow.
Okay, well, nice one. But so that was a dream for me originally. Fell out of love with the whole sort of science thing as well. Got a bit lost, and I'm like, I'm still active. I want to do something. What can I do that's going to make me peace, essentially? And I thought, let me join the military. So I was unbelievably close to going to the Marines, like nearly going off to basic training.
Wow.
And it was in college. It would have been my second college. I went to Oakland's. So you got a few of the rugby man them there as well. So it's the feeder club, all the Saracens lots. I know a few of them, man. Good times, man. My coach, Ryan Freckleton, he does a lot of sprint coaching still. He used to bobsleigh back in the day, like years and years and years ago. And he essentially told me, yo, come down, do some trials. I thought it'd be a good story to tell over a drink. And it went all right, man. So a few training sessions with them. They invite me onto the development program. Go out to, where did we go? Calgary and Arizona as well. So that was, in fact, it was Dallas. I was lying with to the Michael Johnson Performance
Center. You were bobsledding in Dallas?
So for the sprint training part of it, because part obviously with bobsleigh as well, it literally is a sprint, but depending on what position you're doing, you're sprinting for maybe a maximum of like 55 meters. So it's super short, super intense, short bursts of like energy and speed and that as well.
So the lighter the better? Like in terms of like body, because I'm thinking obviously like put on muscle, put on weight. So like surely you're impacting the aerodynamics of it all.
You are. So essentially, it's, in terms of aerodynamics, it's not too much of an issue. Everyone's just cramming inside this sled. So as long as you're inside it, you're good essentially. But in terms of weight, because essentially it's a gravity-based sport. So you got your tracks going down the mountain. Heavier you are, faster you accelerate. The idea is you want as much usable weight. So as much like just try and get lean and big, anything that helps you push the sleds, and you jump in it. So you'll have a maximum weight that your sled and your team can be together. Obviously, if your team's not making up that max weight minus your sled, you're going to be adding stuff into the sled. So the difference between the whole cool runnings and this and that, you can add weight into the sled. You just got to be on that limit. So obviously that makes the sled heavier, so you push it slower.
So you mentioned cool runnings there, so I was going to bring that up as well. So like, how much banter was there? I guess being Jamaican, like being Team GB, like
so much. So I'm Jamaican heritage, of course. The first sled that I pushed in Calgary was a Jamaican sled. We were missing one of our pushers, and they're like, "Yo, does anyone want to help out?" So I put my hand up. So yeah, man, I had all of that. Uni as well. My first year, I had my housemates give me a little lucky rubber egg. I've still got that somewhere as well, you know. It's in the boxes somewhere, but I still kept hold of it. But it's funny, so my go-to to people, if I say, I bobsleigh, they say, what's that? I say, have you seen Cool Runnings? No? And if you haven't...
Whoa, they haven't seen Cool Runnings?
Do you know what?
That's mad, actually.
So people will even not see Cool Runnings, and they'll just say, oh, yeah, it's my favourite film. And I'm like... Okay, it's a good film. It might be your favourite, fair enough. But if you haven't seen that, I just got to pull something out and just like try and show you, because it's a sled essentially jumping, icy track. That's my inspiration.
Right, tell us about the technique in bobsledding though, because again, all my knowledge is from Cool Runnings. I know because obviously they took sprinters from the Jamaican sprinters, put them into a bobsled. And because they could generate a lot of power, that meant that they had a really good start and put them in a good position to go well, right? And I know the drivers got to lean to one. Do that, all that. So tell us about the actual technique that's needed for it.
Okay, so I can best explain it more so the characteristics of depending where you're pushing.
Got you.
So typically your driver will push for, depending on the track, maybe 10 to 15 meters. So he tends to be quite a big guy, quite stocky and heavy, powerful, probably not one of your fastest pushers, because it's essentially the start of your push, you're trying to generate that force, get over the initial inertia. So you're pushing, you're not really hitting your top speeds. 2 and 3, it tends to be the slower out of 2 or 3 will go, slowest goes 2, fast one of that goes 3. We tend to be the more powerful guys on the side. So we get that initial push. 2 might run 20 to 25 meters, 3 might do 30 to like 35, 40. And essentially, because you're going down a hill, your sled is accelerating. So the whole idea of it is you need to constantly be pushing force into this sled. So typically you'll get to the guy at the back, number 4, if you're on a 4-man sled. He's the lightest out of everyone, but he's got the fastest top speed. So you need that cadence when you get towards the end. Because if you're not putting force or weight into the sled as you're pushing it, you're already creating a dragging force. And our sport comes down to like hundreds and thousands, like literally like that.
So what's the impact on the body? Because I think 400 like hurdles now is the lactic acid building up in your legs. So as you're doing it now, like, is it your shoulders again uncomfortable? Is it your legs? Like, what is it?
Oh, so like if I was doing 400 hurdles, like everything's just getting lactic. Like you're just burning up. Like it just depends when it's gonna hit you. How well you've trained, like your speed endurance and that beforehand. Bobsledding, there's no lactic. I'm pushing, it's like 5 or 6 seconds of work. I can go ham for that. That's your phosphor creatine. You're not building up no lactate or the rest of it. You're good. And for us, it's quite a long break as well. So you'll typically have 2 runs within your race. So you'll do one. You decide essentially who goes first by your ranking in the worlds. So if you're top 20 or something, you'll put your name into a hat or a number, pick it out at random. That's your starting order. And then we go in reverse order for the second run. So the slowest goes first. And then kind of makes it exciting towards the end as well. So,
what's the top speed? How fast are you going in those things?
What's the fastest I've hit? We've done like maybe 115 like kilometers an hour. If not, probably a bit faster than that. It depends on what track you go on. To my knowledge, Le Plan in France is one of our fastest ones, but the experience is crazy because obviously you're not strapped into anything. And it depends where you are. It depends where you are in your sled as well. So typically the driver is sitting there. You've got the cowlings essentially the outside of the sled. So you're only really seeing his eyes from here. You've got a tiny little seat and you have 2 D-rings in your hand. You're pulling like this, and then that's what controls the runners going from side to side. And now the difference again between the film and in real life is once we all jump in, no one's shifting like this. Like you load in,
that's a pretend.
You lock down and you just push out against the sides, and then that's it. And you just don't want to move.
So that you pushing up against the side, that's what locks you in.
Pretty much, yeah, man. We've got nothing else to like. We don't even have seats or anything. It's like Jenga. So the 2-man's not too bad because you got space, but the 4-man is you got 4 big blokes in it. Just shift up like this.
Does anyone ever fall out the back?
Oh, it's happened. Do you know what? At some point, if you want to pull it at the end of it, I can show you a couple of bloopers of mine, man. It happens.
Please, bro.
It happens a lot, but it's what do we do? Pyongyang Chang would have been the first Olympic test event that I went to. And in fact, I'm lying, it's Sochi. And one of the first runs we did, because obviously you only get a certain amount of runs on these tracks. It's the Olympic track. You want to get all your runs in with all your people, get as much experience as possible. Our first run, who dropped out the sides? Might have been, I might lie, it might have been Ollie. So Ollie, I'm going to shout you out. I've got his stag do as well, like next month as well. Ollie Bidov, make sure you look him up. I think he might have dropped out the back. But it happens, especially because we're trying to push the limits of what we're doing. A lot of times people fall out the sides. We have like a push track at Bath University where we practice. It's essentially like athletics track with 2 rails and a trolley that we push on it. So we get most of our practice jumping in back in the UK. So it doesn't happen too often.
Got you.
It does sometimes.
That's mad. Like for me, when I see supercars or I've been in a fast car, I feel very, very uncomfortable. So I can't even begin to imagine what it's like in terms of that. Like, just
I tell you,
the nerves and everything.
I hated bobsleigh the whole first year that I did it. I was cacking myself every time I went down because you sat there and you're going down like this. It depends what tracks you're on as well. There's only one natural track in the world, in St. Moritz in Switzerland. So each year they'll build it out of the snow and ice and compact it themselves. And because of that, it's a perfectly smooth track. So you don't really get any noise, don't really get any sort of ricketing or like.
Wait, hold on, bro. So you're saying they literally cave out a course from the snow?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And you can look at the same spot during the summer and it's just plants and grass, like no ice or anything like that.
Wow.
Yeah, beautiful, man. Nice place to do it. But because of that, and the way it's kind of created naturally, you don't hear any sounds as you're going down. So you can hear people cheering, you can hear the person like doing the announcements and that. Everywhere else is an artificial track. So you have cement, essentially a cement track they kind of build, and it's refrigerated. So they spray on different layers of ice. And because of that, and there's small gaps where you're connecting the bits of stone, you get expansion gaps, and you're essentially just like this the whole time you're going down. You're just there getting shaken a little can. And it's an experience. It is, especially like your first crash and that as well. So I had my whole first year. In fact, Brad will laugh at this as well. So Brad still competes and he's done very well this season. So shout out, man. But the whole of my first season, didn't have one crash. I remember we came back for like a training week in my second ever season. And I was giving it the big I am. I was like, yo, I am uncrashable. I said, I'll take payments for people who want to put me in the back of the sled. Make sure you don't crash. And what happened, I was still convinced he did it deliberately, but I had my first crash then. and it looks and sounds a lot worse than it is on TV. But in reality, when you're going down, you'll roll and flip over. Depends how much airtime you get sometimes. It might look a bit bad, but because we're inside the sled as well, the only thing that really can hit the ice is our helmets. But if you hold yourself at the right sort of angle, it depends where you are in the sled, you can kind of get away with it. Right. Then afterwards, you essentially tuck your shoulder into the inside of the sled that is on the ice, and you're just going down and your head's kind of bouncing about a bit, but you're essentially blessed. I've had more injuries doing any other sport, especially athletics, compared to bobsledding. So
wow,
bro, that crash, because I obviously when we watched sorry to bring it back to Cool Runnings, but when we watched Cool Runnings and they had that crash, it looked bad. It looked seriously bad. But you're like, it's a little bit of theatricals.
And that speed as well.
Yeah. So, and you know what? And so we crash a lot. Especially, it's weird as well. So you have Europa Cup and World Cup. So Europa Cup is like Europa League, World Cup, big things. The top competition, you'll see more people rolling and crashing because we're trying to find like the fastest lines possible. So we're constantly going to be cutting it as close as possible during training and during the races as well. And like some tracks you'll have, is it Whistler? Lake Placid, there's a track or a bend called 50-50, and it's 50-50 if you're gonna make it or if you're gonna flop off, man. And it happens.
I kind of see like similarities between like F1 a little bit, because you're looking for like the 0.01% to try and get like a second quicker, or if not, even if a second. So it just sounds as if it's like super, like almost scientific a little bit as well. It
is, and like so I would like jump in. So there's definitely a difference between being a brakeman, which is essentially someone who does the pushing, and a driver yourself. I've been lucky enough to driven in Austria, so I can drive that track pretty well. Lee will back me up, one of our coaches. I did that very well. But as a brakeman, I used to like it because all I have to concentrate on is staying on top of my game, stay powerful, stay fast. I push for like 5 seconds, jump in. That's my job. Right. When you're driving, it's a whole different kettle of fish because you'll have different cues on different tracks. So I might be going into a bend and I'm thinking, okay, there's this little twig hanging out, or there's this small red line. This is where I need to start turning. And as you're coming around, so essentially because the speed you're moving at and how tight the turns are, you're essentially trying to stop your sled from rising up to the top of the turn. Because if you don't pull that bottom handle and you're up here when you're meant to be coming down, that's when you get the big crashes and the big flops. So as you're going around, you're essentially holding your D-ring, and you can feel a bit of pressure coming out, and it's all about releasing it at the right time as you're coming off of the bend. Yeah. And it gives you a little speed boost as well. But it's a lot. So you could have like 15, 16 bends, loads of different tracks. And it's funny, so you can go and watch on YouTube as well, because we always, all the filming and the races are done there. Okay. And you'll see the drivers at the start. You have your helmets on, and we have a helmet cover. It'll be dark, and you'll see us just in here, just feeling out the turns. I might be like in high turn. A Chrysler is like a 360, so I'm coming into it, holding my D-rings. I'm visualizing when I hit that point, easing myself back out of it. So it's like, it's good. Yeah, the visualization is crazy. Wow. Give me goosebumps already, man.
Oh, bro. So, like, who were the top countries in bobsledding when you were competing? And I guess now as well.
Yeah, so Germany have always been one of the top teams. They have a bit of an advantage because they've got 3 different tracks within their country.
Got you.
So obviously, you can go down that as much as you want. You don't have to pay for track time when it's your own country, or you shouldn't do anyway.
Yeah.
So the Germans are always on top. The Latvians have always been known as like the fastest pushers as well. Yeah. So your Mel Bardises and whatnot now, I think they might have retired. US was always pretty good as well. Okay. And so were we, actually, to be fair. So in terms of our pushing, was quite up there.
Okay.
Had a few different results. We had Sochi, that obviously the whole Russian systematic doping scandal, which was crazy as well. All of that happened. So we actually had a bronze medal, but sadly the boys missed out on all the celebrations and endorsements and whatnot for it as well. So that was a shame.
Yeah.
But the team now is doing good. We're picking up like medal places. Brad's just done very well.
Obviously, you're still very much like interested in watching the guys.
And I'm still in the background, man. I still got a love of it as well. But I'm kind of just relaxing, letting these lot do their thing now.
Yeah. So what was like the biggest competition you competed at?
Would have been World Cup. I've had a string of like World Championships, senior and junior ones as well.
Yeah.
Which is it is a big deal when you speak about it, but as you kind of do like quite a few of them as well, it's like, okay, cool. Same time of year as again, same job. It's the games that you want to go to essentially. So
Right.
I've had a couple long list selections. The first time I did it was quite soon as to when I joined the sport. So it would have been 2014, I think would have been the Olympics.
Okay.
So I made a long list for that. Didn't quite make it. It's just been at the start of my sport essentially. The second time round, got the long list again. Actually rolled my ankle at Loughborough. Yeah, man, it was peak. I reckon that piece of pavement still got a little piece missing out of it. But yes, I rolled my ankle and I ripped all the L's, all the ligaments around, all of the L's. It was so bad, man. That's my worst injury to date.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that kept me out of it. So I've still got that. It's my checklist.
A little
I need to
itch,
finish off the games, essentially.
So there's always been chat, well, I guess from the recent games, chat about Team GB athletes not making enough money from it. So like, what was the support like, financial support?
Oh, it's not great, man. Like, it's not great. So when you have like an amateur sport that is also very niche, we don't really tend to get cash apart from UK sport. And that all comes down to performances. So depending how well you do in that season, or at least over that Olympic quarter or Olympic year, so your 4-year cycle, will depend how much money they give you. And then within that, you choose how you distribute that to your athletes in order to get an ADA, so an Athlete Development Award, so basically your Ps. You have to be hitting certain targets that are set by UK sport as well.
Right.
So it is good. So on development, I was getting like 800 a month, which is as a student, it was nuts. Yeah, it was crazy, and I was still working like full time as well. So I was living. Yeah. Was I doing? I'm doing better now. I'm doing better now. But when I was looking at security and doing that, healthy. It's healthy, man. I was laughing. Yeah. But
especially in Loughborough as well.
Yeah, man, it's good. But the thing is, depending on what level you get to, I don't know if this has changed since. It might have done. If you're essentially Olympic medals, top of your game, you're on maybe like 32k, 34k. That's what you're getting from UK sport. A year. Which is by itself is good. Yeah. But if you're, especially now, like cost of living, man, it's crazy. If you're trying to raise a family, mortgage and this and that, and that's meant to be your full-time job. So a lot of the time people be working their second jobs or whatever, doing their thing. We have quite a heavy military involvement within bobsleigh. So they'll have the inter-services where you have the Air Force, Army, and who's the other one? The Navy, essentially racing against each other. They do different snow sports and that. A lot of people come across from there. And the whole idea of it is you go military, do your basic training, get sick at the sport. They'll write to whoever your guy is, and they'll be like, cool, sign this guy off for an Olympic year. So you're getting signed off in the military for 4 years to go and do the sport you love. You're getting your military pay. If you're good, you're getting your UK pay as well. Right. And then any sponsorship that we kind of raise ourselves, a lot of it is self-sponsorship that we do. Yeah. That's how you make your Ps. So,
what do you think about the state of athletics at the moment? Do you think it's growing, or do you think it's going down, or is it just staying the same as it's always been?
It's not good, man. It's not good. Like our athletes are doing well and they're smashing it, but it's the way UK sport is being run. Okay. And it's more business now. I think people are just trying to do that. They're making the money out of it. But there'll be a lot of things like, for example, juniors and like younger athletes now are having to pay to go to competitions like Europeans and that as well, which is mad and worlds. And obviously, if you ain't got Ps like that, it's difficult, man. Like especially like even when I was doing my bobsleigh as well, I had to work. I was always working anyway, but I had to pay for my travel to get to Bath University from Loughborough, like once or twice a week, like minimum. And I'm trying to go up there, make a good few days out of it. I'm gonna have to try and find a room up there, pay in the Whyte Hart, which was like a real nice sort of not Airbnb, it was a B&B pub, like a fancy one. They used to sort us out, but it's a lot of financial pressure if you haven't got it like that. So, especially for the athletes coming up now, I feel sorry for them. And on top of that as well, in terms of selections, a lot of the time, athletes will be offered entries from say the high organisation, so it might be your International Athletics Association Federation, one of them. They'll send that invite to UK Sport or GB Athletics. It's GB's essentially their job to then invite the athletes.
Okay.
What's happening now is a lot of athletes aren't being given those opportunities. They're actually taken a very a reduced team, so you're only maybe having like a handful of people competing where you could have more. And obviously behind that is you want to have that competition experience as an up and coming athlete. It's not about, obviously some people got it like that where you're just good enough and you get accepted onto the team and you're smashing it, but sometimes it takes years to develop as well. So you're kind of, they're robbing our athletes, man, and we're still doing well despite that.
Yeah. So, I remember around the time we were probably at uni, that's when 2012 Olympics, or just the year before, was 2012 Olympics, right? And I think that's when we had a real big like boost of funding into British athletics. And I think that stayed around a little while, like when Mo Farah was about, Jess Ennis and all them. But now that generation has kind of retired, what we're seeing now is the new crop don't have a 2012 Olympics that's kind of going to they're going to get an influx of money towards, which is a shame, man. Because even if I remember, like I didn't used to watch athletics before the 2012, but then when 2012 happened, I was watching world champs, Europeans, everything. Winter Olympics, Paralympics, indoor events as well.
Indoor events,
Shout out Azu, man, just world champed it. Young boy British, doing his thing. Man. In fact, I think he might be Ryan Freckleton's like crop as well, stable from that.
One of your coaches,
man.
Yeah, we shout him out, man.
Shout him out, man.
So, bro, when did the bobsledding dream kind of like end for you?
So for me, it got to a point where I was like, yo, like I'm competing, I'm doing well, I'm getting these like selections, the long lists, I'm missing out on these games, but I'm still doing world champs, like I'm up there in my opinion.
Right.
I had to finish uni, man. Like it was a 3-year course that essentially took me 7 years. So because we were, like you said, for F1, that you're going away, traveling around the world to all these different tracks, I'm out the country for months. So essentially I'm having to do half a year at a time. And the way there's a difference apparently between splitting and stretching your years. I did the bad one where I'm getting charged full whack for each half year I'm doing. So like, you don't want to see my student loan statement. I'm telling you. I'm I'll go to Thailand and go missing before you get paid. Yeah, man. So essentially for me, I was like, you know what? When I first started doing bobsleigh, I was like, look, 3-4 year course, I'm going to come out of it in essentially like 7-8 years or whatever. I'm going to have to accept that I'm 31 now. I'm going to have a 4-year, essentially, what's the opposite of a head start? A holdback. So people 31 years of age in my head, okay, you got your mortgage, you got this and that, you got years in the game, in your career and that. I'm just accepting that I'm going to do the sport thing for a while, come out. And now I'm getting to the point where I need to earn money. I need to start a career. Still doing security at the time, but I want to be in a job where I'm getting paid for my skill set, not the hours on my feet. Yeah, man. So I had to make that decision. So I finished off with uni. I had to try and like secure a job or whatever. But that was, for me, the transition. So it would have been 2019 would have been the last year that I was competing. And just had to, put the dream down for a bit, essentially.
And there's no regret there? Like you're happy you went through the experience?
I am happy I went through the experience. I feel like I had a couple of years when I was almost plateauing, so I was still at a decent level, but I was plagued by like injuries, man. I had that Achilles, not even Achilles tendonitis, patella tendonitis.
Oh man!
So essentially, it's just your tendons are inflamed. But because I was doing bobsleigh over winter time, when we come back, we do maybe like a 6-7 week winter training for athletics. Go straight into competitions. I was overtraining for years, so I was just getting the cocodamols. And, what was the other high? What was the other high strength? And then the it's like a super ibuprofen, naproxen. So you go to the sports doc. All right, I'm going away for like 3-4 months at a time. Cool. Give you a big off pack full of all your meds.
So there you go.
Yeah, and that's it. So it was just a bandage essentially for years. Like the pain was still there. I tell you what, I couldn't even sit in the cinema. Sitting like this with my knees bent, screaming.
Seriously?
Yeah, man, it was crazy. It was crazy. So I think just having a step back from that.
Did you ever have concern of getting, because you hear about like addiction in sport, especially to pain meds? Did you ever have that concern?
Yeah. No, I was quite lucky in that sense, man. I never, did I overuse them? Probably should have just taken the time out to actually just heal my wounds and actually rehab properly. But again, I'm there for the competition, innit? So yeah, I definitely could have managed it better. But yeah, luckily no addiction.
How's your knee now?
It's good, you know. I got,
Yeah, I think you're sitting. You go cinema now, yeah.
It is. I've got a left and a right knee, not a good and a bad knee now. So definitely. So yeah, cinema's all there, man.
Fair, bro. And you touched boxing for a little bit as well.
I did. So in my head, when I finished up with bobsleigh, I went back to athletics, and I was still training with Alex, one of my boys, who's still up in Loughborough at the moment. Top physio, go see him. And he's like an amazing hurdler. And between him and George, who like taught quite a few like internationals and that, they showed me the technique. I was training with the team. Everyone's doing well there. So I did that for about maybe the best part of like a year or so. And then there was a fight night thing, like a white collar student boxing thing at Loughborough. And I was like, you know what? I want to try something completely new that's just not sprinting or bobsleigh or power sport, kind of power sport anyway. So yeah, I gave it a go. Loved it. Loved the training for it. Loved the fights itself. And it's nice to kind of get in the ring and everyone's like, prove yourself as a man and do your thing or whatever. Yeah, so I had a great experience, man. I drew that match. I was fighting Femi. Femi's like 8 foot tall. Proper funny night.
Nigerian.
Yeah, he is, man. And it was good as well. So I had the chance to train with the university boxing team as well. And you got some good people in there. Travis, another tall ginger guy, doing his thing as well. He trains with he's had some sparring matches with like Anthony Joshua and like some like the bigger names in that as well. So yeah, man, I got tested and I trained like a good stock. Yeah. After that, when I finally finished up with uni, I moved back home. So I was back in Epsom pretty much just before lockdown and over it as well, chilling with Mumsy. And there was a boxing club in Epsom called Gaunlet. So I was there for about a year, really enjoyed it. And then I don't know if you know Cass, who used to go to Loughborough as well. Proper sound guy, but he fights like he's a proper does his MMA and whatnot. Okay. He trains,
Uncle Cass.
Uncle Cass. There you go. Yes, Uncle.
Bro, it's because I always know my Uncle Cass, bro. It's not just Cass.
The guy was an uncle from like first year, man, 100%.
Bro, it was his birthday the other day. I messaged him like, "Happy birthday, Uncle."
Uncle Cass is hilarious.
Yeah,
hilarious.
Proper living it up. But he took me to train with. There's one brother with dreads on Gogglebox. He runs a gym in Mitcham, wicked. And you go in there, bare yardies, you're putting on like, it's a nice mix anyway, it's like a nice yardie feel to it, like one of them proper, you go downstairs, grind it out, sparring, put your sessions in, you got drill and the rest of it in the background. Love that. So yeah, man. And it was good. But I finished up with that.
Did you, before you move on, did you ever spar with like Dillion Whyte? Because I know he was up in Loughborough.
Oh yeah, no. So I never. Oh no, he would have batted me up, man. But, yeah, it's funny. But you know, again, yeah, literally. But shout out Dillion because he used to obviously used to train in Loughborough as well. We had a few big names in that. I think Fraser trained with us as well. But you see Dillion down the track sprinting and doing this thing, and obviously Powerbase. Yeah. Shout out Powerbase. You got a big
best gym in the country, man.
Telling you, without a doubt, without a doubt. Dillion used to be in there as well, so he used to like kind of chat to us lot, some of the sprinters in the bobsleigh lot. He's a yardie as well, man. He's wicked. Yeah. But yeah, never sparred against them, man. I wasn't on them.
I heard he was also a big fan of the women's rugby team as well.
Hey, do you know what? And shout out. So actually, so when I was doing security, I worked quite a lot of the fight nights and that. And over lockdown, Eddie Hearn turned one of his like family homes or whatever into, it was like fight night or showroom central. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, during COVID. So you had the Dillion fight there. So I was there for it. I was in the little VIP bit and like watching the fights going on. And yeah, he's got a beautiful baby Carolina now as well. Like, man, proper. Yeah, nice catch up. You saw the kids there like swinging on the bag and that.
Swear up.
Yeah, he's doing his thing, man. So it was nice, man. So yeah, between that and obviously AJ came up to Loughborough. Obviously, there's like the video.
You would have seen it before. So there's this kid who's like, I think it would have, was it in Elvin?
Yeah. Oh, no, it was, what was the one it was opposite Loughborough College?
Oh, Loughborough College.
It was opposite. It was opposite Loughborough College, so it was near.
Not Towers, was it?
Yeah, right, so it was Towers, but not the tall bit. You know, you got
One
it was Butler, the one where where the rugby boys were. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry, guys. That means absolutely nothing to a lot of people.
Understand that if you're in the bubble.
Okay, but there's this guy who's in Butler Court. He's in one of the rooms above, so you can look at people walking past, right? And Anthony Joshua was obviously training in Loughborough for a little while, and this guy is shouting abuse at AJ as he's walking by, right? So AJ's like, nah, man. He goes into Butler Court, finds his way up. I don't know how, because you have to have a key card, but I guess if AJ says, let me in, you're going to let him in. So he finds his way up to this guy's room, and he's like, stood there, and he's like, I'm here now. What were you saying before? It was like, I know you think it's funny, but if I spin your jaw...
Yeah.
You remember that?
Yeah.
Madness. Yeah. I was there for that, bro. So I was doing a bit of security at the time, still there, and I attended it pretty much after he'd said that to the youth, and I was like, wow. I was like, fair play. I was like, yo, you got
what did he say though? What did the youth say?
The youth said nothing. You was shook. He was like, oh, I'm sorry. And
I hate that kind of shit, man. Stand on business, man.
No, stand on business.
But it's like, obviously, you're nervous, you're scared, obviously, you apologize and that. But for me, I just hate when people do stuff like that. Yeah. And then they come back, they come on you, like, pull up on you, and all of a sudden, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Like, bro, like AJ said, stand on business.
Say it with your chest.
Say it with your chest. You're going to be rude. Man. Then stay rude.
Yeah, just don't.
If anything, the youth was skinny as well, so it's probably the safest thing. Like in my head, I'm like, yo, like there's certain people you can't fight. Like the weight. I got 40 kilos on you, man. I can't even.
No, I don't think AJ would ever.
No, and he wouldn't have done that.
Yeah, exactly. No. But
I loved it, man.
It's good, man. Because we live in a Twitter generation now where everyone feels like they can just say whatever they want online.
I was going to ask, like, did you ever was there any abuse? Is there abuse in bobsledding?
Nah, man. It's
nothing from the fans, like nothing like people.
It's the complete opposite.
Okay.
It was amazing, man. As soon as obviously it's a niche sport in the UK, like this whole bobsleigh thing, but you go to like a Germany or a Latvia or an Austria where it's a big sport and you get down there, people like screaming, ringing off the cowbells, coming to the change room, asking you to. I remember the first time someone asked me to sign like a photo or a little thing, I felt, are you sure? Remember that feeling? I was like, what, me? I was like, yeah, of course, man. So yeah, but luckily for me, never any abuse. I think we're too much of a niche sport, and like people were just like, like it's not like our football or like where some of our boys get abuse and that. So I was blessed in that sense, man.
No, awesome, bro. So so eventually we had to put aside the athletic dream. Tell me what it was like transitioning from elite athletics to civilian life.
Yeah, it's tricky, man. Like the transition, because I feel, especially if you're doing a sport, not only full time, but when you're going away for it takes up such a big portion of your life as well. You almost build like your identity around that as well, which is what I feel that I did. So when it comes to having to put it down, and I'm like, rah, like, what am I doing now, man? Like, it's nothing wrong with doing security or whatever, but I'm like, I've just gone from like top athlete doing my thing to now, rah, like what do I want to do in the first place? What's my purpose? Like, do I want to do another sport? Do I want to go back to bobsleigh? It's like, yeah, it's confusing. I think it's definitely, some people find the transition easier than others. Mine has taken me, I'm still transitioning now. I'm still trying to figure out what I want to do sport-wise. Like, it would be, I keep saying it would be great to go back to bobsleigh, go to a games, do it for Jamaica this time. I've got a few friends who transitioned over and done that. But again, it's time, not so much of a money element now because I'm actually working, or I will be working at some point.
Amen.
Say that, man. Living up that redundancy. That's been good, man. Which has been nice as well. So it's giving me a bit of time to kind of be like, right, like what do I want to do? Enjoy myself, take some time out of work. So yeah, and I think definitely the transition from working security or being an elite athlete, so you're on your legs, you're on your feet, you're moving about, interacting with people, to then, so I went into finance in the end, like a business analyst, and it's tricky because I'm in an office, I'm sat here, got my little sit-stand desk, and it's hours that I've just got to sit there, essentially doing like, not really anything active. And also from doing security, so we used to do like a 12 hours, like a minimum shift, but we used to do like back-to-back 18 hours over like festival season. So you'd smash out as many hours as possible, short amount of time, get your P's up, take some time off, do the same thing again in a couple of weeks' time. So I get into the office, and I'm telling you, that 9 to 5 goes like that. Like,
really?
Between me eating lunch and I come back, I'm like, rah, my day. My day is, hey, it depends how much work I got to do. But even if I'm doing my like normal hours lunch, like 9 to 5 goes quick. I just feel like it's almost like my day's rushed in that. So that took a lot of getting used to as well.
Okay.
Yeah. Never heard that before. It's good.
No, honestly, it makes sense though, because obviously, as you said, from like 18 hours to a 9 to 5.
Like on my feet, no sleeps. And now it's blessed. Like I feel blessed to be able to, again, I was saying it earlier on, get paid for my skill set and not the hours on my feet. When I first transitioned from security into my grad role, I was earning less money than when I was doing security.
Right.
But security, I had next to no life, working night shifts as well. So it's almost like I'm living a parallel life with people.
Yeah.
And I tended to work over the weekends more so during the week. So it's like people working during the week.
Yeah.
I'm working the weekends. Apart from my boys I was doing security with, it's kind of hard to be in sync with the rest of the world.
And also, is there any skills that you took from elite athletics and elite sport to the workplace?
Oh, 100%. That's like, that's the best bit about doing like some kind of elite sport, because I feel like it gets, having that on my CV, it gets my foot in the door to what I'd perceive to be like a lot of sort of face-to-face interviews, or at least over a Skype call. Right. And more often than not for me, I'm like, if I can get my foot in the door, if we can get a face-to-face or a little chit-chat, I can at least schmooze you into giving me a second call or getting a job and that. So it's good. But in terms of the actual skills you take across, it's the pressure, man. I love it. I actually work best under pressure. I work better. I need to sort that out as well. I work better. The closer it's the same as uni. The closer you get towards a deadline,
that's when you switch
just
on.
Get this mad hyper focus. So the amount of times at uni where I just leave my work until a couple of days beforehand, and I've got like 5,000 words. And you know what it's like? You got a library, everyone's sat there. Get your Red Bulls out. Don't sit on the ground floor because that's just a social. And go into the stacks where it's all the dusty books you got. So between that, I think the soft skills of between security and then obviously meeting a lot of people, different cultures, and traveling the world, you get to learn how to speak to people. It's good. And then a little bit of leadership as well, man. So I used to help out with our junior program. So I did like a lot of coaching. Outside of that, I've done like quite a few sort of school talks and some motivational stuff, from anywhere from like little kids up to corporates I was doing at one point, like little speeches and that. So it's definitely those skill sets that you take across, and I feel like jobs love you for it as well. So you need someone just different focus, different kind of mindset, especially going into finance as well. Not only obviously going as a black male into what is perceived to be and kind of still is a relatively like white spot, like a white sort of business. Between that and then also going in as a former athlete with no financial background, they always say diversity of thought is good in terms of like sort of business outcomes and stuff, like how much money you're making and whatnot. So it all does help. I thought you just have to find a way to communicate that to potential employers and the people you work with as well. So
yeah, man. That's
good.
awesome, bro.
That's good stuff. Good.
So, bruv, thank you for running us through your athletic journey.
That's some cool stuff, man.
You've done some hella cool stuff. And I actually am really excited for people to hear about like bobsledding, because, as you said, it's such a niche sport, and most people like myself only know it through cool runnings. But for them to actually get like a deep dive into that is going to be really cool. But now some of the fun stuff, bro. Arsenal.
What's the score right now?
That's true, man. I know my fantasy.
Everyone is going
to Arsenal. 1-0 to the Arsenal.
1-0 to the Arsenal.
1-0 to the Arsenal, bro.
Really? Yeah. Shout out my guy.
Shout out Mourinho, man.
Get Saka, I need some points.
So, look, I'm not quite sure when we're going to get this out, but hopefully we'll get it out before the whole Real Madrid tie is done. How are you feeling about that?
Optimistic, because I'm gonna support my team regardless. But I'm also realistic. It's gonna be a hard match. I think it all comes down to, not all of it comes down to, but we need Saka back, obviously. So we got him on the bench. Hopefully we see if he's like comes to some kind of form or whatever. Yeah, man. It's just a hopeful year essentially.
When is that? Is that game next week? Or is it 2 weeks?
I hope 2 weeks, man. I can't do another. I can't do like another breaking games, man. But yeah, so fingers crossed, like we actually pull it off, man. But yeah, I'm hopeful.
How are you feeling about it?
I've said this to you before. You have to be hopeful, but I almost feel as if we don't have all the weapons we need in order to win the game. That is my biggest concern. Yeah. So I'm kind of going into expecting that we're going to defend well, and then Real Madrid eventually are going to break us down. But listen, we've gotten ourselves into this position. I think it's also good to look at it as experience moving forward as well. So yeah, I'm operating on vibes. Again, I'm happy to be here. Like I'm seeing it, I'm happy that we're there. We'll go to Madrid, experience it. Hopefully Madrid don't see Gabriel and Saliba and think, yep, we're going to take both of them. Yeah. Because they need centre-backs. But yeah, man, let's just be competitive. Again, let's like something to build on, moving on to next season. So,
yeah, I don't think you're going to get blown out. For some reason, I just don't think Real Madrid's that kind of team right now. Well, they'll put like 4 or 3, even 3 on you. I don't see it happening. Especially when it comes to the later stages of the Champions League, they're usually like maybe a 2-1 or a 1-0 kind of guy.
So I think it depends on what Arteta's ego is saying. Because again, being Spanish, going back to Spain, if he decides to be a bit more cautious, then fair enough, I agree with you. But if he tries to go, yo, man for man, let's go.
But that doesn't sound like something that he would do this season.
Bro, because Real Madrid are quite defensive, they play on the counter. They play transition football as well. So he might see it as, okay, we're going to be putting more pressure on them. And yeah, might play a bit more expansive football. So I think that's where, I don't think it'll be 3-0 because I don't think we're allowed to get 3-0, but I just don't want a situation where just peppering our goal, just bam, bam, bam.
Fair.
That, man, yeah.
And Jordan,
striker, innit?
Yeah, true. I mean, how are you guys? What are you thinking that you guys need for next year to be competitive in the league?
We just need a man that can finish. Just need.
Who do you want, bro?
Right. So my theory is, if Newcastle don't go Champions League, right, I think Isak needs to come to us. I'll take Isak. I think we just need a finisher. You see it all the time. We can do the build-up play. We get right to it. We might dance about, even inside the box a lot of the times. We just need someone to finish. So,
would you pay 150?
Hell no.
Nah, man. Well, do you know what? I wouldn't. But if we did, I just wouldn't be upset. We've needed a striker for so long, and I have no idea why we haven't got one. And
I think that would show a change in a mindset from Arsenal as well. Yeah. If you guys are like, look, it's 150, and I don't care, that would show that, yo, these guys are serious about winning.
I don't think it's going to be 150. I don't think they'll, let's say they don't get top 4, Newcastle, I don't think Arsenal will do the 150 because we still need to get another winger, we need to get a midfielder, we need to get a second goalkeeper.
He's not worth 150 though.
So this is the conversation I've been having. Like, he's probably, in terms of this season, probably the most informed centre forward in Europe. He's probably the most informed centre forward. Like, yes, he's not playing for like the biggest club, but he's probably the most informed centre forward. I think with Isak, you just kind of hope that if we were to bring him in, that it doesn't mess up the other positions that we need to bring in as well. Because I feel like midfield is light. Like I said, we need to get a left back as well, because Zinchenko is going to leave, Tierney's going to leave, even though Tierney's been playing left midfield at the most recently. But for me, I've Gyökeres. I think there's been chat about him recently. So Gyökeres played for Sporting Lisbon.
What should he go for?
70.
Okay. So that would allow you to strengthen the other areas as well.
Other areas. So I think for me, Gyökeres, there's chat about Sesko as well. I'm not a believer of Sesko. Sesko from RB Leipzig. Again, similar price point.
Yeah.
But he doesn't have that dog. And I want my centre forward to have that dog in him. And I don't feel Sesko's got that yet.
Does Isak have it?
Yeah. Bro, I've seen the way Isak was bullying Gabriel, bro. Every game. I've seen every game, the way he's had Gabriel. And Gabriel's not easy to bully. So to me, that just tells me, especially because Gabriel's probably stronger than him. But that just tells me, there's like, yo, bro, like, I don't care how strong you are. I'm going to give you work every single time. Yeah, man. And he gives him the work every time.
That English league, man, they use that more physical game. Like,
yeah.
I want to see that, man.
Yeah.
Would be also interesting to hear what you boys think about Trent. There seems to be a lot of news, a lot of talk from Liverpool fans, from the whole football community about how they're upset that Trent's leaving Liverpool on a free. I think the fact on a free is the thing that's really hurting them. What do you think about that?
You gotta let him do his thing, man. Like, it's a shame, but how long's he been at Liverpool?
20 years.
Yeah, well, this was what, 10, 11, bro.
Yeah.
Let my guy go, man. He's done enough for you, innit? Let him come to us. But he
you also don't want him.
Yeah,
you wouldn't want Trent Alexander playing you.
He would fit amazing into Arteta's style of play.
defensively, you'd want him in your club.
I didn't say defensively, but in terms of style of play. But I just think in terms of what I just think when you think about total picture, the money would be too much in terms of salary, and you'd only be able to play him in certain games. So again, there's no point. But in terms of a luxury player, yeah, absolutely. Again, like build-up play is one of the best in the world in that right position.
Fair. Okay, fair enough.
I hear why Liverpool fans are upset. But listen, Arsenal have been through it so many times. Everyone has to feel it.
Oh, bro.
Everyone has to feel it. Yo, enjoy that.
Ashley Cole going to Chelsea hurt me, man. Like, it happens. Didn't Van Persie when...
United.
It happens. It's a shame, innit? But
oh, bro, those things hurt, bro.
Okay. And then I know, obviously, you said one of your sports was boxing. How are you feeling about boxing right now, man? Who's your guy, by the way? Who's like the guys you support right now?
Yeah, that I'm enjoying. You know what? Obviously, you got obvious people. Like I like my who are my British fighters that I follow? Joyce.
Yeah.
I like Joyce.
You like Joe Joyce?
Do you know what? Okay. I want to see more of like Joe Joyce. I want to see him doing this.
I like Joe Joyce as well, to be fair.
Yeah, man. Okay. But yeah, in terms of like some of our heavyweights and that, I'm not gonna start like naming names and saying I think they're not good because I'm gonna get punched up or whatever. But I feel like the state of British boxing, I feel like it has kind of been going through like a transition, but I feel like it's more so like some of the younger boxers coming up, that are doing well, man.
Definitely, I feel like the Moses Italmas, the
Bomber Browns.
That's his cousin that he manages.
That's it.
Yeah, man. You know, I feel like there's the Fraser Clarks, the hopefully the George Foxes and the Bombers as well. Those guys are coming up, are going to make a lot of noise.
Oh, I tell you who's been gassing me up recently.
Yeah.
Parker's had his comeback. His performance against is it Zhang or Zen?
Zhang.
The big Asian brother.
Yeah.
Yo, I was like, man, swinging now. So so I'm happy to see that comeback. That was for me. That was not out of nowhere. Yeah. And I still rate him as a fighter, but his performance has been stepping up, man. So I'm like, cool.
So with all the sports that you've done now, if you could go back and say like, I'm going to try and go pro in it, would you do boxing? Would boxing be the first thing that you select, or would you do the same thing? Athletics, yeah.
I promise you, if I just stuck at it and not gone to the football, and because of like seeing where it's gone, I would have done that. And I think for me, being Jamaican, like the whole sprinting, and like my whole family watches it, and I've been doing it since day dot. Love the sport as well. If I could, I'd go into that. And that's obviously not for the money because you're not really making too much. Boxing would be lovely, but again, that's also why I stopped as well. You know.
Right, you got hit a couple of times.
I didn't, but I didn't want to either, man.
Yeah.
Like I was like, because it's just again, it's like the concussions you get, but also it's not even when you're not getting concussed, like just the slow progressive. You're just taking knocks to your head, and you see it with even the old school footballers doing like the whole pigskins and that, where they've been heading it. I've headed a few solid. You know, back in the day at school when they play with like the overinflated balls or like Sunday league, freezing cold, and that things just rusting your forehead. It's the worst. But yeah, it all adds up, man. So I'm like, health-wise, let me just put it down. I still enjoy it. I still hit the bag for like technique and fitness and that. But yeah, I couldn't go pro for that.
Okay. And also, what is it about athletics in Jamaica? What do you guys love about the sport?
Do you know what? I don't know how it started, but it's just this rich tradition of athletics, and we push it so hard from like day dot, and you have like all of your it's gonna kill me, I can't remember what it's called, but you have essentially their version of all of the schools competing against each other is such a high standard, and it's like everyone goes out there like goes and celebrates and supports it. Relays are like our thing as well, like that always gets pushed hard. So it's just culture, and we've perpetuated that. We seem to be very good at it, and we fund it as well. That's why there's such a big thing around it as well. It just comes down to, I think, just your region and like what people are actually backing. So.
Have you been paying attention to the Australian kid, 17 years old? Black, dark skin, like very dark.
Killing it.
You seen it?
No, I haven't seen it.
It's like 17-year-old running. I think he ran under 20. Recently.
Yeah, he ran a 19 something in the 200, and the hundreds he's dropping crazy. I don't know what these youths are eating. I used to think it was just in America because they got all their hormones and whatnot in their milk, and you're just getting big off some HGH or something. But yeah, man, you're seeing it everywhere now. Like it's weird. It's not weird. It's as like time goes on, you perfect different training techniques. The science gets pushed forward. Obviously, you get sort of better running trainers and that and spikes, but I think that's negligible now. Like you only get so much faster with it. But yeah, it's good to, like you said, it's good to see exciting things like this from the younger generation that should hopefully drive a bit more publicity and get people to buy into it again.
I was going to ask, like, in terms of, have you seen the Usain Bolt podcast episode with Justin Gatlin?
I haven't, you know.
You haven't? Oh,
Yeah,
bro,
but it's entertaining.
you need to watch that. But I kind of got like, he feels that the Jamaican athletes of nowadays just don't want it as much as he, which for me kind of feels like old man.
Yeah.
I'm sitting in the back watching, I did this and you man aren't on my level. But do you think that's the same, like from an athletic standpoint, that these kids don't want it as much as those guys?
So it's tricky because I'm Jamaican, because I'm not over there. I don't really know the feel of like why people may not be competing as well as they used to. So I can't really speak on as to why they're not doing it. But you can definitely see the caliber of athletes. So obviously back in the day you had your Usain Bolt, but you also had like a Afo Powell, Nesta Carter, Shelley's still there. You could like list it off. There are that many big names, and of course like quite a few different events as well.
Yeah.
And now you just don't really hear as much of it, and like we're obviously we're losing some relays and stuff like the US and these other countries are coming through. So I don't know whether it's a case of we're not really pushing forwards at the same rate we were, or if other countries are just like now stepping their game up. You've seen like Nigeria pushing out crazy runners, France, although my guy Vico he got done for juicing. Do you don't think there's, so we've had a couple of conversations like in terms of juice. Do you think there's juicing in athletics?
I promise you there is.
Because I feel like
you don't think there is?
I think there is across all sport, bro.
Okay, yeah.
I think across all sport, and I wouldn't be surprised if a bunch of leagues, I don't know this for facts, but a bunch of leagues have just kind of accepted that the top stars is what it is. Because again, it's kind of like ruins the game. Because of course, you think about like Usain Bolt now, and who knows, he might have never, but if he was found out to have been doping, that would have been horrible for athletics.
Horrible. 100%. Especially because he was so like anti it. He was painted as the angel, and then you got Justin Gatlin, Dwayne Chambers, all them other man as like the devil. Yeah. So yeah, I hope he never anything ever comes out.
I think the time's probably gone now. Do you think anyone will break his record?
Yeah, I think
in our lifetime.
Yeah, I think this a black youth coming through.
The Australian kid.
Yeah, the Australian kid, and like it's weird because like even his proportions, he's very tall and very lanky. He's got similar proportions to like Bolt as well. And if you're running these times that are not a million miles away from Bolt, and you're this young, you still got to think you've got more competition experience to come, more training years. Your body's naturally developing and maturing like into your early 30s. I say for black people 40. I'm just not going to stop.
That was the question I was going to ask in terms of injuries though, because I was thinking being that young, because he's been running fast times since like 15, 16. So running those fast times, does that have an impact on your muscles? Like surely that's not good. Could that not be a good thing for your body?
No, I think it's blessed. I think it all comes down to how you're training.
Okay.
You need like you need to prepare your body to sprint. Like I'm going back to sprinting now. Like I'm going to start running. I've been doing like my little curved treadmill runs and that to try and so I can hit my shapes without having to be at top speed. But I can't go from. In fact, I tried it like 6 months ago. I went down to the track, doing some nice little reps, coming around the bends. Still had like my trainers on and that, nothing crazy. And I pulled a hammy, and I was like, and I was only out for like a few weeks and that, nothing too crazy. But
old man now, bruv.
Yeah, but this is what I'm saying. It's old man. So I'm out here like I'm having to do my knee prehab to try and strengthen this and that. My calves, I'm having to do my soleus because you're taking on that. Essentially takes on the majority of your weight when you're running, whether that's sprinting or the marathon as well. Yeah, man. Shout out Barca last year, man. That was,
what have you done? Have you done a marathon?
Yeah, I did my first marathon last year.
Well done.
Did it for the accolades, man. Jamal dragged me into it.
Seriously?
In fact, I tell you what. So when we moved into our flat, so it's been a few years now. I had like 5 months where I was just like, yo, I don't want to train. I don't want to run. I don't want to lift. Don't want to do anything. And I swear I spent 5 months just chilling, eating, doing my thing, still working, enjoying life and that. And it got to a point where I was like, I needed the hunger for it. And it came back, it did eventually. But during this time, I'm watching Jamal do his 5Ks, like 5K to like couch to 5K.
Oh, yeah.
Then doing longer reps and like longer runs. And he's coming in each time, all sweating. It's like, how you doing? I'm like, yeah, I'm blessed. He's like, you should come for a run. I'm like, oh, I'm good. And I leave that one. But I tell you what, you'll laugh. You know what got me back into it? Obviously, I like to try and like look good and stay in shape or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, I've got like a nice big mirror in my bathroom. I come out the shower and like a little pose and see how I look. And I swear, more and more I'm having to angle myself like the downwards light, and I'm really trying to stiffen up. And I'm like, you know what, bro, you're getting out of shape, man. Like you're not out of shape, but you're not really there, man. Like hunger came back, and I was like, okay, cool, let me try and sort this out. And I think part of that was a transition as well, sort of out of sport, still trying to find like a passion or something to go for. And then one day I went on a run with him, and that turned into a whole marathon. Barcelona.
Will you do another one?
Oh, I want to do another one.
Fair enough.
But I also want to say in my head, all the boxing and whatnot, sprinting, do a marathon, come back, sprint again to a decent level, possibly try go to an Olympics, go for Jamaica, do a bobsledding, finish that off, and then just start smashing marathons around the world.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
Bro, I reckon you would be sick at Hyrox.
But maybe. People, you know what? People suggested it a couple of times.
Yeah,
possibly.
Because I did the Hyrox, like 4 weeks ago, maybe something like that. And, bruv, I reckon if you've done a marathon, because I thought you were a short distance athlete.
Yeah.
But if you've done a marathon, bruv, you'd ace that easy. Easy.
And you used to lactic acid build up as well? Bro.
Yeah, man. That's what obviously the 4 hurdles was all of that. Boxing is, I always tell people, boxing is literally, you have like I won't get too scientific. Obviously, you got like your lactic threshold and your turn point and that. Your lactic, if I get this wrong, oh well, sports science and that. Your lactic threshold essentially is you hit that point and you start producing lactate. It's your H+ ions that produce like that burning sensation, make it hard for you to contract your muscles, lactic like sniper, whatever. And then your turn point is when it happens exponentially. So you see me coming around the 120, you hit that and people slowing down and whatnot. Boxing is trying to find that level of activity, and you just want to be just hitting underneath it like that, or you want to have short bursts, allow yourself to come back down, short bursts. So essentially it's like when you do CrossFit or your Hyrox, is it your scaling where you're trying to, essentially prep yourself. You don't want to smash it out 100% from the start. You've got to have a certain like exercise intensity in mind. In my head, boxing is literally that. And your training is just trying to raise your lactic threshold and your turn point. And you're just learning to, okay, I know physically in myself, I can give you this output. Within that, I still need to be, if you haven't tried boxing before, it's crazy because you literally have to think it's a chess game. Like when you start boxing, you understand it to a different level. So I need to be setting traps and whatnot. But at the same time, I need to put out enough activity to stop him getting his game off on me, essentially. Like I need to like try and dominate the ring. And within that, I need to make sure I'm not gassing myself out because I could go hard for like the first half of the round. But if I'm too tired to even protect myself properly, you're gonna get knocked out or a 10-8 round or something like that. So I like how sort of things are. Yeah, it's a different way and a different mentality. So I like kind of changing to a completely different sport and that. But yeah,
bro, I love that.
We've done a good range, bro.
Trying, man. We're getting
a good range.
Look, so bro, last thing from me, and then if Afo, you got anything, you go ahead. But bro, first dates, man. We had talk about it. We had to just touch on first dates quickly. Tell me about, because that
get a mic close.
I would say First Dates was my favorite show when I was back at uni. 100% my favorite show. What was it like for you going on First Dates?
Do you know what? It was such a good experience. And
wait, and also, did you apply or did someone apply for you?
No, my housemates did at the time, man. So yeah, so that's how I got into that. And I remember I got a telephone call, and it was on was it a private number or like call, like no caller ID? And every time I get a call like that, I'm either I'm waiting for you to say something, or I'm like, yo, like, who's this? What's going on? Why are you ringing off my phone?
So let them know straight away.
Yeah, man, 100%. But yeah, essentially, it's all of that. And in my head, I was like, obviously, because I knew I was going to try and have like maybe a corporate job or something reputable. And I'm not I'm not saying you can't do that if you go on like a dating show or reality TV, but there's a certain type of show you can't go on. If you're doing a Love Island or a Temptation Island and this and that, how am I going to sit in your boardroom and try and sell you some investment strategy or this and that? And it was just a little bit too trashy for me. But for me, first dates, I was like, you know what? I enjoy a date, quite friendly and sociable. Why not? Let me give it a go. Yeah. And yeah, it was good, man. They try and match you with your ideal person. They ask all these different questions and whatnot. So
why didn't it work out?
Do you know what? I can't lie.
Because if I remember correctly, you said no to her, right? At the end.
No. I didn't. I literally, I said to her, I was like, oh, it was a decent day. I was like, we can go on the second one. I was like, I don't want to blow you off. And be too mean or whatever, but I was like, I'd have another drink with you. She was like, let's leave it, chill, and I was like, okay, cool. I was like, thank you. It's all right, but but now we bumped into we cross paths again.
Okay. You did cross paths?
Yeah, it did, which is all right, but nothing happened or anything.
I was going to this question.
Yeah, but I tell you what, it was crazy. So obviously, when this is happening, I'm at university as well. So obviously, everybody's seeing this thing. My phone's going off. I was like, yo, this is mad. But overall, it was decent, man.
Experience, yeah.
Yeah, it was a good experience. Fair enough. Man. The ends were all right.
Let's leave it on that, bro.
Hey, let's leave it on that note. Yo, Jordan, we appreciate you coming on, bro.
It's been a pleasure. It's nice. I've seen the show already, so it's nice.
Appreciate you.
Come down, man.
Yeah. And yo, bro, once you transition to Jamaica, just get us some tickets for some of them World Championships you do.
Definitely, man. Yeah. Hey, and let me know if you do another marathon or your Hyrox or something, because I'm there to crack out some time. It has to be hot though. I'm not doing it anywhere. London, I'll do it at some point, man.
Yeah. You know what? They're doing one in Cardiff pretty soon, which is going to be outdoors in the Principality Stadium, but it's in summertime. So weather's going to be blasting. It's going to be nice out here. It's going to be nice.
Yeah. Oh, what, Hyrox?
Hyrox, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, hey, I might take a trip up as well. I might get a little crew going.
Yeah.
Be good, bro.
All right, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay, so like, subscribe, show us love. That is the Sports Afterparty podcast. Thank you very much.
Welcome to the party.
I'm a different type of rock star. I got class and I got Henny overflowing up my shot glass.